tree. You know that passage we read earlier that a shoot will come out of the stump? Well, a stump is something that's been cut down and it's dead and there's nothing there. And out of that stump, God has said that he would raise up Israel again. A shoot, life would come out of that dead stump in the ground. So I thought, well, if I go out and I wrap my arms around this tree with all the faith in God in the whole world, sooner or later, a leaf will appear on this tree. A branch of life, something. And if you're going to do crazy things, the best time to do it is 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know why, but 3 o'clock in the morning is an hour that just weird things are going on. And besides that, most of your neighbors are in bed. And so they don't see you in your backyard. But every morning, I'm telling you, at 3 o'clock in the morning, I went out there in the rain, in the cold weather. It did not matter what was going on. At 3 o'clock in the morning, I got out of bed, I went out in my backyard, and I wrapped my arms around the trunk of that tree, and I just stood there praying and praying and praying for a green leaf or anything. And I don't know how long I did this, but it was most of a year. Yeah, that's certifiable. Because guess what happened after a year of praying over that tree? Does anybody have a guess?
Nothing.
I chopped it down.
I
cannot tell a lie. Well, if I couldn't tell a lie, I couldn't preach another sermon. So, no, I didn't chop it down. Any other guesses? What happened after a year? What'd you say, Mike? Tell me. You said leaves.
It didn't leave.
No, nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing. Not even moss grew on that tree after a year. I thought at least a decent parasite would come and take over. Nothing. After a year of wrapping my arms around this big dead tree at 3 o'clock in the morning, nothing. Nothing. Well, I haven't driven by there in a while. I don't know if, there's probably nothing growing on it. And it would be sort of a cop-out to say, well, that was exactly the point God wanted to make to me, so I won't offer you that. I don't think God really cared. I don't think it really mattered in all of heaven whether I decided I was going to do this or not. But God honors everything, I think. So in the years that have gone by since then, I think a lot about the faith that it took to go out back and to be there for a rendezvous at 3 in the morning with this big old tree. And the faith that it took, even though day after day nothing happened. Most often when I pray to God, God is silent, and most often nothing happens. But I think about what's going on in my life and Shannon's life since then. And it's taken a tremendous amount of faith to live through the teenage years of my children, to live through the midlife challenges to myself, to my wife and our marriage, to live through the conflict and the controversies here in our life as a congregation, and to still be here with my arms wrapped around this big old tree thing called my life, and my marriage and my family and my church is taking a tremendous amount of faith. And I think that year of hugging on that old dead tree had a whole lot to do with shaping that, because out of the deadest places in my life, God really has honored commitment and caused shoots in life to spring up in some of the deadest places. So today I would end this little bitty talk by saying that for those of you who are raising children today, whether they're small children, whether they're teenagers, whether they're your kids or your grandkids, or whether they're your neighbor's kids and you're bringing them to church on Sunday, I want you to know you have my utmost respect. It's hard. It's a difficult thing that requires faith, and it requires commitment and coming back to the plate and coming back to the table over and over again. For those of you who are in struggling relationships, or maybe just beyond one that has either survived or not survived, you have my admiration. For those of you who are forging new relationships and new eras of your life, you have my encouragement and my admiration. Philip Gulley once said, life is hard enough without being prayed against. And so, for those people who continue to use morality in the Bible and God to beat us up when we are down or when the tree doesn't seem to be budding life, well, in the best sense that I can mean it, to hell with them. Life is hard enough without being prayed against. You have my admiration. What we all need is grace and peace and love, and what we all need to show one another is a much healthier dose of that. Would you sing with me, In Need of Grace?